Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of Why Comply Wednesday on Compliance Africa. Why Comply Wednesday is your opportunity, our special readers, followers, and friends, to hear from you in your words, your own perspective on the case for compliance. And today we're going to be featuring a special voice who is Gerald Kusi. Gerald Kusi is a corporate and investment banking compliance officer out of Accra, Ghana, and he's going to give us his own perspective on the compliance aspects of his current role. Thank you so much for joining us today, Gerald. So, how are you doing?
I'm good.
All right, perfect. So we'll just go ahead and jump right in. I'm especially excited to talk to you because there's so much new regulation in Ghana surrounding the financial sector and lots of exciting things going on. And so, if you could just start off by letting us know a little bit about what it is that you do.
Okay, so basically, I look at the corporate and investment bank side of compliance within the institution I work with, and this involves advising on deals that the corporate side has, and also monitoring and training on policies and regulations that are rolled out by the Central Bank of Ghana. It also involves reporting to regional level compliance and group level compliance, which is situated in Europe, and more or less giving them an overview of what is happening within the rest of Africa, as it were, and with specifically Ghana. So it's more or less, advising, monitoring, training, reporting for corporate and investment bank.
Sounds interesting, but also sounds very complex. What are some of the laws, or what would you describe as the legal framework currently that informs the work that you do? Can you tell us a little bit about some of the laws that you're having to comply with?
So, as you know, I work with a global institution. I work with Barclays, and obviously, because it's been constituted in or incorporated in the United Kingdom, all the laws that apply in the United Kingdom apply in the rest of the regions that Barclays has presence. The laws are obviously extraterritorial. So you have all the laws that are applying in the US, applying in Asia, applying in the UK, obviously applying in our region as well. Specifically, we have antitrust law policies. That's the competition law policies. They have an overreaching, more or less, effect in the region that we are in. So that is one of the laws that we must comply with. We have the laws on proprietary trading exemptions like Dodd-Frank, which obviously also because it applies in the US, applies to entities that are Barclays affiliates as well. But mainly within the CIB space, we concentrate more on policy rollout, ensuring that there's conformity across board on certain risks that have been identified that cut across from group level in Europe to region in South Africa to Ghana in West Africa. So it involves more or less ensuring that everyone sticks to a one size fits all policy framework to ensure that all risks related to that are mitigated.
Wow. And I think you've actually gone ahead to answer one of my next questions, which was just about the international nature of your work. So you're not just looking at laws in Ghana, you're also looking at laws
Exactly.
affecting Europe, the US, and Asia.
Yes.
Okay, so now just to take a more practical perspective, you mentioned risk management. Just give us sort of a picture of your day in the office. How do these compliance requirements affect the process of your work? Are there practical precautions you have to take, questions you have to ask your clients, things like that?
Yes. So in my normal day-to-day activities, we have laid down processes and procedure we have effected for certain transactions of certain situations. Basically, if you want to go ahead and do a transaction, there's a laid down step or process you need to follow. These are
Operating procedures,
exactly these are
right?
controls that we put in place. I can give you a practical example of
Mm-hmm.
one of our policies that we adhere to strictly. Across from Europe to region to Ghana, it's the gift and entertainment. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
within the region that we work with, if you do work for a client or for a customer and they are, very appreciative of your efforts, they tend to want to give gifts or provide some sort of entertainment, which obviously per the policy standards has been broadly defined
Right.
to capture most aspects of gifts and entertainment. So there's not an exhaustive list that if you fall in within this list, you are more or less okay. It's very wide, so it captures almost everything.
Right.
So the essence is to reduce this, as it were, corrupt practices of anti-bribery and corruption, where a client more or less feels you've done something for them, so they want to grease your palms, as it were. Also, it's also a bar on the corporate and investment bank, knowing that they more or less are in the business of providing satisfaction to clients, which includes entertaining them. So we want to ensure that there's a cap on what constitutes gift and entertainment to these clients and what will be considered to be overboard with regards to these, because we deal with all sorts of individuals, including politically exposed persons who are public officials who may probably have a certain inclination when it comes to politics or law. We don't want to be seem to be affiliated with any. So there are certain laid down procedures with regards to that. Even on the trading floor, we have policies that regulate trading in terms of booking trades and logging trades, recording trades, cancelling, amending and backdating late trades and all that, just to make sure that we are within the proper confinement of rules and regulations.
Right, right,
So
right.
that's practically. Does
That's
that answer your
Yes,
question?
absolutely. That definitely answers my question. And of course, this is a great note to make that compliance is not just one document, code of conduct that encompasses everything. You're going to have other policies that comprise your compliance. So beyond just the laws, it's going to
Yes.
be standard operating
Specific
procedures.
policies that yes.
Right, exactly. So thank you so much for that. Well, of course, this is Why Comply Wednesday. So before we go, we have to ask, what is your perspective on the importance of compliance in your work, but then compliance as a practice at large? So can you tell us in your view why comply?
I think the number one reason why we comply, especially looking at the global, the global trend since 2008 and the fines that have emanated from the failure to non-comply, is just to avoid being sanctioned by the regulator and being that institution that is in the news for all the wrong reasons. So in my space where I sit, it's more about avoiding the sanctions, avoiding the fines. And also, if you stay away from the news for all the wrong reasons, you attract customers for all the right reasons that you also. So basically, it's just to, in our space, is to avoid the sanctions and make sure that we are complying with policies, processes that have been rolled out by the central bank or the other regulating bodies we have in Ghana.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. That's brilliant.
Welcome.
And thank you all for listening as well, and for more weekly perspectives from around Africa as to why comply. Definitely visit www.complianceafrica.wordpress.com. Until next week, it's take care and goodbye.